All gas, no break. Welcome to the show. Just Chris and Mo once again. Justin continuously slaving away at the not knowing ball factory. We went to the knowing ball factory and nobody there knew Justin. You hate to see it, but we are here for episode 109, I believe it is. Yep, all ass 109. Fresh off of well, not super fresh. We're about 48 hours or so removed from first game of the season, in which the Jets lost 32-19 in San Francisco. And you know, to me, you know, to me, you know, to me, it's not so much the fact that they lost. It was more so that they looked pretty non-competitive, and particularly the defense looked pretty bad, and they didn't even like Aaron Rodgers played pretty good. So I'm feeling a lot better after this opening night than a year ago, which is it's a year to the day now. But so I'm feeling a lot better now than I was feeling then. But yeah, the defense was definitely a disappointment in a lot of ways. They really didn't like Rodgers played a good game, but they didn't really give him more time to like possess the ball and do more. And I think it was basically like 40 to 20 minutes in time of possession. Like the Niners basically doubled us up in time of possession. They also doubled us up in like offensive plays run. I believe the Jets had
Yeah,
I forget the exact numbers. I think the Jets had maybe 30 and the Niners like 30 something, and the Niners had like 72 or something like that.
yeah, they barely had the ball.
Yeah, so they barely had the ball. Brees Hall didn't look great. The outside
I
of that,
think what screwed. I think what fucked us was that fumble.
yeah, that fumble early
It
did kind of,
started it.
but then like they really like, but then like they bounced right back and had like one of the best, really probably the best drive I've like really ever seen the Jets run as an offense, like almost ever.
Hmm.
Like that was the first time I ever felt like confident, like that we were gonna score a touchdown,
Hmm.
like because like
Like even
when they got to like the goal to go situation, like they threw that pass to Garrett and he like juked a couple of defenders and was like trying to get to the end zone, and he got tackled at like the 2 or the 3 yard line or whatever it was, like inside the 5. And
mhm.
normally I'd be like, oh, like we didn't score there. Now we're gonna either settle for 3 or get no points at all. But I kind of felt more like, oh, that's okay. Like that just sets it up for Brees now. And then next play, Brees punched it in.
Mhm.
The O line, I thought the O line was pretty good. They only really Rodgers only
Yeah.
got sacked like once, and they kept him upright for most of the game. And luckily, when he did take hits, he got up. They were good on the pass protection, the run blocking, not so much. They weren't really able to create space, and definitely some blame on the coaching. Like the offense I thought was pretty good, but I thought that the play calling was way too predictable. It was like run pass like almost
It was,
every
yeah. I mean, it was to me. It was like the play calling was like a little too balanced. Like at first, like when you realized like Brees Hall, you couldn't get it because they were stopping the run real good. So I was like, all right, you know what? Now this is the time to just put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands and
yeah.
just let him take over.
And they
And
barely
they,
used and they like barely used Braylon Allen at all either. Like on that third and one where they basically telegraphed that they were going to run the ball because they had Brees Hall in the backfield, and I think they had like Lazard lined up like next to Rodgers as like a fullback running
yeah,
like a pistol or
they actually had a pretty good game.
yeah, Lazard did
I
play
mean,
well.
besides that, like garbage time touchdown, but I mean, it's it is what it is. But to me, I think that was the best thing that could have happened to the Jets because it kind of like humbled them in a way because it's like, all right, now you're facing this, you face a Super Bowl contender. This is what you need to play like and get ready for. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, and it is
And it's
almost
good that it happened the first week of the
yeah,
season because now it's like, okay, we know what to prepare for and get ready for the rest of our games. There's 16 more. I mean, you can't. I wasn't mad about the loss, and I expected it.
yeah. I wasn't like too mad about it, and like it became pretty apparent that they were gonna lose the game like pretty early in the second half. It
Hmm.
was like pretty apparent, like all right, like, yeah, it's not our night. Um, so like yeah, like I wasn't per se mad, but there were definitely some things that were very concerning, like just like the usage,
Defense.
the usage of the personnel was like that could have been a lot better.
Hmm.
I thought that and to your point about like getting humbled and like learning what like a real championship team is, and kind of realizing that I guess it was kind of like a wake up call, like, oh yeah, like this is where we want to be, but like we're not
Hmm.
there yet. But like since Salah got here, the Jets have basically like been trying to like emulate what the 49ers do, and like now we're in year 4, and like that just showed like how far they're still apart from each other. Now if this
Hmm.
game was played now, this game was played at like MetLife or in a neutral setting, like the Super Bowl. I don't know if the game is maybe a little bit closer, or maybe maybe we don't like lay down and die so much at the end. I don't know how you felt about taking Rodgers out at the end. I thought like I don't know. I kind of
I
see.
didn't. I didn't care. I didn't mind it. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, I didn't really mind it either. Like, get him out of there, get him out of there healthy.
Yeah.
But I also kind of feel
Yeah.
like, if you're doing that, then like you might as well just take all your starters off the field at that point.
Yeah. That's true. But
But
I mean, I also feel like to the whole like, oh, Christian, if Christian McCaffrey was playing, it would have been worse. Like, who's getting 150 fucking rushing yards or all-purpose yards? Like, really? Like, he would have probably done the same shit. I don't think it would have made that big of a difference, to be honest. But also, they they probably prepared for Christian McCaffrey to play.
yeah, and I'm sure that kid Jordan Mason didn't know that he was playing Friday. Like when he slipped up and
Mm-hmm.
said that after the game,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he knew he was playing Friday.
No, he
And
definitely did.
yeah,
Why would he just bring that up?
yeah. I mean, he was running hard.
He
And
was. He played really good. He actually saved me, and I actually won the week because of him in fantasy.
Oh, did you have to stream him after
I,
McCaffrey
w-
went down?
I put McCaffrey on IR, picked him up, and then I had Garrett Wilson playing. So I won by like a point.
There you go. Yeah,
This was crazy.
at least there is that. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. That I don't know how much more Christian McCaffrey would have really done. Like, he probably would have had a pretty similar game, like about like 180 something yards or something like that. Maybe he gets like maybe
Mhm.
he finds the end zone one more time, just because he's a
Yeah.
touchdown machine. Maybe they don't run that jet sweep to Debo instead.
Hmm.
Um, it could have been maybe slightly different, but I don't think it would have. I don't think we would have lost like 52-19 if McCaffrey was playing. Like, I just think that the defense clearly wasn't ready. It was kind of almost like a preseason game for them too, because like none of them played.
You know what? I think the scheme wasn't right for the 49ers, the defensive scheme, because
Yeah,
like they had so many guys open. Like I think they should have ran like more of a 3-4 than a 4-3 because they had three receivers and Jawan Jennings was like open on every third down. And that's how they would convert. They scored like 18 points by kicking. They scored like 8 drives scoring points, which was insane.
yeah. 8 drives in a
And
row. They got points, mostly field
yeah,
goals.
right. And I mean, the shit adds up. So it's like, all right. And they were usually starting at what, like the 30-yard line?
Yeah, Yeah, so they were definitely they kind of won. They won the field position battle. They won the time of possession battle. They ran way
Hmm.
more plays than we did, and
We got
ultimately,
outcoached,
yeah,
basically.
ultimately, yeah, outcoached, outclassed, like kind of out everything, outmuscled. But yeah, Shanahan did kind of coach circles around Saleh in that game. I mean,
He did. I mean,
he,
he always
he was
beats
doing
his
whatever,
assistant
whatever he
coaches anytime
wanted.
they become head coaches.
Yeah, Belichick, I feel like always would always hand his disciples a win when he'd face them. He'd like kind of just let them blow him out to like I guess try and make himself look good. I don't know, but
Just something.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't a good night. It wasn't a good night for Salah, and I mean, like, yeah, like Garrett Wilson said after the game, like, oh yeah, like that was kind of like we got our asses whooped and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And Brees Hall saying they didn't that the 49ers played harder than them. It's like, all right, like why you had like, you had like 6 months to like get ready for this game and like you didn't come out playing as hard as you could. Like why is that? Um
Yeah.
and obviously the biggest issue and like the biggest concerning takeaway I would say from this game is the run defense. I mean, I wasn't expecting the run defense to be good. Our run defense last year wasn't particularly good. Like, if there was anything that, if there was like any weakness or any way to like attack the Jets defense, it would be the run D. Uh,
Right.
and that like opened up the pass too. But like I mean, they definitely it definitely made losing JFM look a lot worse. It
Yeah.
made
For
I
nothing,
think it
which
also
was the stupidest trade ever. I don't know why they got rid of him. And
yeah
it was, I guess it was for money, but I mean, who did
yeah
they
that was
really pay with
intentional.
like $6 million?
Yeah, there was really no like follow up signing. They really didn't like aside from like paying the players they drafted and signing them to contracts. They really didn't like
Yeah.
do anything. They really didn't do anything like with that money. Uh, and I think like I see a lot of fans that were saying like, oh, like the run defense was so bad, like Reddick wouldn't have changed that, but Reddick sets the edge better than anyone on the Jets defensive line did. Jermaine
Yeah.
Johnson didn't have a very good game.
Mm-mm.
Uh, like Will
Did
McDonald, did he even play? Like I
I,
didn't
I,
hear.
I didn't even notice if he played or
Yeah,
not.
I didn't hear his name once. Didn't even see his name come up on the stat sheet or anything. And
Mhm.
then I saw Quinnen Williams like lining up like as a defensive end like on a few
Yeah.
plays. Like they need to just like. And apparently, like I don't know. I was watching a video earlier. Apparently, like we're pretty much just in the same place where like neither side is like communicating with each other, and that shit just needs to end. And it needs to end. It needs to end now. It needed to end yesterday, really. But I don't know, like I don't know what hill everyone's like dying on at this point. But like it's stupid by both parties and stupid by both sides. But like ultimately, the Jets are the ones like the team is what's suffering.
Really.
So,
Yeah.
just
And I feel like they have more control to solve the problem than Reddick's party does.
yeah, like I think the ball is in Joe Douglas, and I'm sure that there's I'm sure there's like kind of like outside factors of Woody Johnson. Like it seems like kind of like Woody didn't want to invest in a backup quarterback last year, and that's why they kept trouting
Fuck
out
Woody.
Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle and Trevor Simeon. Now it seems like he doesn't want to pay like premium money for a premium edge rusher, which is even worse in my opinion. Like, all right, if you wanted to punt last season, that's fine, but like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna tell Joe Douglas, okay, like you can't get this deal done because I don't want to spend the money. Which I think I think that the fact that I do think the fact that it's like an election year might have something to do with that. I think he's
And
kind of
I feel like it's almost like he wants to like copy the Cowboys regimen and just okay, if we make the playoffs, that's good enough, and do good during the season, and that's
yeah,
it.
like basically like yeah, if we make the playoffs, people come to games and people watch our games on TV. Now that we're like the prime time, we're like the prime
Mhm.
time Jets. We're getting all the big TV spots.
We
As long
we have Aaron Rodgers, and everyone wants to watch Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, as long
Oh,
as
okay, we're fine.
yeah, no, like Rodgers is not I think you kind of saw that Rodgers alone doesn't really make the Jets a championship caliber team cuz like you can't really come away from
No,
that game and feel like the Jets are a championship caliber team. At
I
least not
mean,
yet. They have some
yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, all right, he hasn't played in like a year. He's rusty. Clearly, you saw it, and he still did like
he
decent
still played
for
he still
someone
played
coming
well.
off an Achilles that was rust. That's rusty,
Yeah.
and I feel like he can only get better. I think he can.
Yeah.
He still can make throws. I mean, he was off on a couple of them. He threw an interception. He threw for
Yeah,
like
that
what
interception
167. But that was a bullshit interception because it just tipped off and it like ricocheted. It
yeah,
wasn't like a real like he
kind of,
just threw it to a defender like Daniel Jones.
yeah, it wasn't like a terrible throw. It could have been a better throw, but it also wasn't a terrible throw. And
Right.
yeah, it was kind of just like, it was kind of just a good play by the defender who tipped it and, kind of just luck that it landed in someone else's lap.
Hmm.
So, you can kind of live with that. They also
Yeah.
didn't throw to tight ends at all, which
At all. Yeah.
I think that should change.
Which I think that's a big
You know, like especially because I mean
difference
we're kind
because
of
tight
thin at
ends like
receiver.
quarterback's best friend.
Yeah, we're
And
kind of thin at receiver beyond Garrett Wilson. I mean, he only really threw to Wilson, Lazard, and Brees Hall, and like
that's it.
that might be it. I don't think I heard Mike Williams' name once.
No,
Grant.
he played. He was in a couple plays, but I don't even know if he caught the ball or not.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Like I know he's on he's obviously on like a
He's
pitch
on a
count.
pitch count.
Uh,
Yeah.
getting back into the swing of things.
Mhm.
But you would hope for more than that. I'm actually checking right now to see if anyone else like caught a pass aside from those three. But those are like Braylon Allen had one catch for 9 yards, and Tyler Conklin also
Mhm.
had one catch. Like aside from that, they didn't throw to tight ends at all. Xavier Gibson, still a god of a punter. Uh, and yeah, there's just like some weaknesses I think that got exposed in this game. Like they really don't have that like inside like run stuffing presence. Like Quinnen gets double teamed and eaten up because like the line around him isn't as strong anymore. I think I've been seeing a lot of Al Woods reunion talk, and I would say that I am on board with bringing in
Yeah.
Al Woods.
I was in Q Jeff.
Yeah, yeah, bring in Quentin Jefferson. We need those. We need those run stuffers. Um,
Mhm.
Also, the safeties didn't look very good after having like a nice
Yeah.
season last year. Ashton Davis looked, pretty putrid, to say the least. He
I
was.
didn't even notice if Chuck Clark was on the field. I saw
I think
Tony Adams make a couple plays, and he looked all right for what I saw.
I think
But
yeah, Tony Adams, he made some tackles. He had a sack too. So like he was good in that sense, but
mhm,
like he was also not very good in coverage. He was getting burnt.
covered, yeah, right.
Chuck Clark did play. He had like 3 tackles, but yeah, it seems like he's like also kind of on a it seems like he was also kind of on a pitch count coming
I
back
mean,
from
well, if you think about it, like a lot of these players didn't even play in preseason.
yeah. Yeah, so
They
it is
so they have their it's like their first game live, like full speed game. So it's like, all right, uh, learn from your mistakes after playing a Super Bowl contender, and then just take it out on everybody else. Because I mean, we're playing like 3 games in 10 days. Because we got
yeah.
the Titans on Sunday, and then we play the Patriots Thursday for our home opener. So
Yeah,
Monday,
so
Sunday, Thursday,
yeah,
which
3 games
is
in 10 days,
the NFL like
which
fucking
is
us again.
yeah. I think so like from what I heard when the schedule came out is like, the schedule executive guy said like, "Oh, we think the Jets owe us one." So there was that whole thing. And I think like one thing that like that Woody was fighting hard for and that the Jets were like fighting hard for was to get their ending, like their last game of the year, to be a home game, because that had not happened in like many years.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the last time
Like
they last
10 fucking years.
yeah, the last time I think they closed the season at home was like 2016, so like almost 10
Yeah.
years. Um, and then like a few years
Yeah.
before that, they also like closed the season on the road. So like they've always been closing their season on the road, basically.
And it was
So it
like
sounds like
Buffalo. It was
yeah, it
always
sounds like
Buffalo or like New England.
yeah. Occasionally, every once in a while, Miami. But yeah,
Hmm.
it did seem like they wanted that pretty badly and advocated for that. And it seems like the schedule makers were like, all right, like we'll give you your home game at the end of the year, but like we're gonna fuck you at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
Um, and I mean the good news is like that's probably the toughest team we'll play all year, in the regular
Yeah.
season at least.
It definitely is.
So you got it out of the way. There was some good things to take away, but a lot of a lot of concerns, and it's still I think not the best. Wasn't the best look for for the coaching staff, and like it doesn't give me. I don't really necessarily come away from that game feeling like, because like we came into the season and it like the whole thing is like, all right, like we know this coaching staff's kind of sus. It's
Mm.
kind of a matter of like, can Aaron Rodgers like be good enough to mask those deficiencies? And I mean, he was good, but I don't think he was good enough to like overcome the rest of the kind of like the rest of the deficiencies that the team showed. So they have a lot to clean up, a
Yeah.
lot
A
to
lot.
fix, and they have to do it in a pretty short time, because we got to beat Tennessee and we got to beat New England. You have to win those next 2 games, and you got to beat Denver too. You really have to win the next 3 games. There's really
Shit,
no
the
no excuse
next
not
four,
to.
really. I think we need to beat Minnesota also.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would say so. I
Because
mean,
that's
that
a
game.
London. Is that a London game? Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
that game's in London. I mean, I would say that game is if you win the next 3, then that game is it's still important, but I feel like it's a little bit less important just because it's like you're playing it overseas against the NFC team, so it's like it doesn't hold as much weight as like
Yeah.
division and conference games go. But yeah, still that's also a team that you should be able to beat. I don't care what Sam Darnold did to the Giants. We're we're a
No.
much better team. So that's another game where you should be able to handle business. But those London games are weird, and it's hard
Mhm.
to feel good about it. The Jets did bring back Connor McGovern on a practice squad deal. So, I don't know if that's just like insurance policy. If
Yeah, it is.
yeah, also AVT didn't look too good in that game either. Um, he was
Yeah.
kind of getting beat, and that might be. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a was kind of a preseason
I
first
think.
game back.
Yeah. I think to
Yeah,
me
a lot of
it was week one. I'm not really like because a lot of these players they never played. They didn't play in the preseason, so I'm not really worried too much. It was just like getting their feet wet, and they didn't. They weren't. They definitely didn't expect like this much, like because they physically got beat. They got physically beat, and a lot of the plays were physical and being out coached. That didn't help either. But they had like moments in the game, but not as much as the Niners did because they controlled the game. Clearly, you saw it. And
Yeah.
after like that one drive we had when it was like 7-3 or 7-6, I thought they lost control after that because they had that one drive, that one like really decent drive, and after that, it was just like okay, it's just pulling away from them.
Yeah, the game definitely it got away from them like at the end of the first half, and then like it really got away from
Mm-hmm.
them like out the gate in the like
Third
when
quarter.
they came out. Yeah, once they came out of the gate, and once the Niners came out of the gate and like scored a touchdown on like the opening second half drive, it was like all right, like this is gonna be really hard to like come back from, and then
Mm-hmm.
then they tack on. They tacked on, or I could even forget. I think they kicked another field goal and then they scored a touchdown. I forget what the exact order of scoring they
Mm-hmm.
did because they scored so goddamn much.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely, they definitely, yeah, they definitely made it tough, and they kind of, they kind of, they did what they did what they needed to do to beat us, which is basically just keeping the ball out of our hands. Salah said that they didn't keep away, but really, like, really, they just played football, and they played football better than we did, and that's kind of what it,
Yeah.
kind of what it boils down to. So, you take the L
Right.
and hopefully, move on and you learn from it. We are going to be having a guest joining the show uh, momentarily. My friend Derek, who is a Titans fan,
Nice.
and he'll be joining us to kind of give us the Titans perspective of this upcoming matchup. But transitioning as we look ahead to Tennessee. Uh, sorry, I was just texting him, getting him ready for his big guest spot. I think he'll make Justin's he'll make the void left by Justin not being here. I think he'll fill it pretty well and still
I don't think Justin's gonna be on the rest of the season.
yeah, Justin out for the season. Justin Slavery out for the season.
he's McCarthy. He's JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah, he's this is a red shirt. Red shirt rookie year for him in year 10 of this or whatever year it is. I think it's like year 9. But yeah, I mean, I think with Tennessee, it's definitely a interesting matchup. And here he is, the man himself, the commissioner of the League of Cucks, Mr. Derek, joining the show.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's up, man?
Happy
This
to
is
be
Mo,
here to
my
talk some
co-host.
Titans football.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect timing. So we just finished crying about losing to the 49ers. So now we're on to Tennessee. So
Yeah.
I think this is a game that before the season, a lot of Jet fans probably looked at as like maybe like no disrespect, but they may have looked at it as kind of an easy win. But honestly, after watching that game, I'm really not so sure how easy it's going to be because like the Titans can definitely run the ball, and the Jets can definitely not stop teams from running the ball.
It's a whole new era in Tennessee. All right. I'm gonna say this isn't gonna be an easy dub. I'm gonna come out and say the defense, is definitely top tier for Tennessee. The defense line is nasty. Can't really speak on, the offensive side because Will Levis, lost us that game. So, the run game with Tony Pollard, finally a wide receiving core for the first time in my entire life, I can say I'm happy with. It's kind of wild to say. But, I mean, it definitely should be a solid game in Nashville this weekend for sure. Excited to see Rodgers come down and see what he can do because, against the Niners in that defense, that was kind of a rough one for you guys.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, all things considered, I thought Rodgers was pretty good against the Niners. I mean, he really just the defense just couldn't get him on the field enough because they couldn't get off the field was part of the problem. But I mean, he did make some nice throws and he had some good moments and he took a sack from Nick Bosa and he got right up. So we'll consider that a win, I guess. But
Breece Hall, though, man, that's the dude right there. That's the
he
dude.
is,
I wish we had him.
yeah, he is the dude. He needed to. He wasn't the
dude on Monday night.
he looked like his Madden avatar on Monday night.
Yeah. Yo, what was up with Garrett Wilson's jersey though? He was going quarterback with that.
Yeah, so the reason he did that is because he was trying to emulate Aaron Rodgers with the not non-cuff sleeves.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess he was like, okay, maybe he knows better than me. And he was like, okay, maybe I have more room to catch the ball. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that.
He just
something looks off right here, but
Yeah. What's
Yeah, but to me, I just want to say real quick, I think this game is going to be a nail biter, for both sides.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a low scoring, close type of game that is not really over until the final minute or two of the game.
What's the spread right now for it?
I think the Jets are 3.5-point favorites.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah, so it might be a classic trap with the hook with the 3.5. Or it could be, it could be a sign that it could be a pretty close game. But on FanDuel right now it is it is 3.5.
It's
Titans are
over under.
Yeah, over under 40. I mean, that's a pretty low number, so I feel like it'll probably just go over. Not by a lot or anything, but I think that more than 40 points will be scored in this game. But 3.5, 4 points, that seems about right. And I could see that really being in either direction, whoever ends up winning. But, I wanted to ask, I didn't watch the game, but, I kind of know what happened with the Bears. It was basically the Titans defense balled out. Caleb Williams looked kind of like ass, but Will Levis basically the defense scored 2 touchdowns, right? As far as the Titans running game, what was the share of touches between Tony P and Tajay Spears? Was it predominantly Tony P or was it more by committee?
Yeah, it was mainly Pollard. I mean, they started off the game running the ball consistently with Pollard. So it was nice to see a refresh. It brought a tear to my eye seeing, no Derrick Henry out there. I will say that first game of the year, that first touchdown of Henry brought another tear to my eye. Hate to see him in the purple and black, but so it was mainly Tony Pollard in the beginning. They dumped it down to Spears a couple times. So hopefully throughout the year, I mean, I'm not going to overreact. The overreaction of week 1, it takes about 3 weeks now in this new NFL to get the team chemistry. And I really do think that the way that they're going to use this new Brian Callahan offense with these 2 speed backs is definitely going to be a way different look than what we were used to as being a Titans fan for the last. I mean, we had Henry, we had CJ, 2K, Eddie George. Like, I mean, we always had these big
Always
power
had a
backs.
workhorse, yeah.
And now we have, these speed guys for the first time since CJ. So it's like Pollard's not going to be getting 20 to 25 carries like how Henry was doing. So I can definitely see, like, Pollard get like 13 to 15 carries a game. Spears coming up with at least like 8 to 10, you know what I mean? Control the clock. But I mean, it comes down to Levis, man. Like, Levis can't be doing those bullshit flips that he was doing under pressure. That, I don't know if it was the pressure or he thought he could make a play, but sitting on the couch, why would you throw that ball?
I think as soon as he realized like the ball was coming off his hands, he was like, "Oh shit, I fucked up."
Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
it's like,
I was watching that game like live.
It's not like he had a chance to make a completion. Even if there was like no defender, like there was a defender wrapped up on him. Like, I mean, what are you doing? And the Bears offense, I mean, granted, it was Williams' first start of his career. Lots of pressure, the expectations. You can't expect a kid to go out there and ball out. But the Titans did contain him. The hype around him, they did do what they had to do on the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, that flick of the interception and starting off with that punt return, that block kick, I mean, that was the start of the downfall. And that 17-0 lead should have never even come close to that, because we dominated up until that punt return. And I mean, it was depressing. It sucked.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, it always sucks when you like have like a 3-score lead or feel like a game should be like in the bag, and then it just like disappears on you like that. So I know your pain in that regard. Obviously, no game,
especially week one. Everybody wants to come out and prove something. The training camp's over, the bullshit preseason games are over, but it's most of the time it's the first time the team have run together. You know what I'm saying? So
and like an actual game.
Yeah. So even like week 2 and week 3, like you don't really know what you're getting. So I mean,
yeah, that's why like it's like unders are always like hitting like the first like month of the season or so. You see a lot of unders because like everyone's still getting in sync basically.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a glorified preseason, and it'll be even more of a glorified preseason when they add the 18th game.
The 18th game.
Which is probably coming sooner rather than later. But I will say I feel like Will Levis, like as far as like quarterbacks in the NFL right now, I'd say he's probably like the most difficult one to like actually like get a read on, like as to like whether or not he's good, because there are times where like he makes throws where you're just like, wow, like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was pretty unreal. And then like he does like dumb shit. Like
he does dumb shit, and then it's. I mean, one game. I mean, the first career start he had last year, I was at the Falcons Titans. He had like 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, whatever. I mean, I was like, holy hell, like this is a new beginning. You know what I mean? And he comes out the next game and he looks like garbage. So it's like this is year 2, but the whole coaching staff is different this year. So it's literally like it's everybody's new. It's a whole new offensive line, whole new wide receiving core, coordinators, head coach, everything. So it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say we're going.
And they didn't draft them. They didn't draft them either.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's all.
They have a new GM too.
Yeah, he came in a couple years ago. Yeah, and I've never seen an off season like this with L'Jarius Sneed coming in. I mean, that was a big time trade that the Titans made. So I mean, bringing in Tony Pollard and Tyler Boyd, like I mean, he got some targets and some catches. I mean, he's a good 3. You know what I mean? We still have D-Hop, who wasn't targeted until I think the second half or some shit. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of meshing that needs to go on all around with the team, but I'm confident. This week could be, a little bit of a toss up. Like you said, it's going to be a close game for sure. But I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a little bit more, hopefully no 17-point leads that we blow this week.
Yeah, I don't really see either team necessarily getting a 17-point lead in this game to blow. I feel like it'll kind of be like a fairly close game like the whole time. Like maybe one team can kind of pull away at the end. Like I feel like whichever team like is able to like kind of get a lead late, they'll be able to like run the ball like down the other team's throat at that point and like put the game on ice and maybe make the score look less close than it is. But like I wouldn't think it's a game where like either team goes up by like 3 scores by like halftime or like the third quarter or anything like that. Do you think they made the right move by getting rid of Vrabel?
Yes. And it pains me to
Really?
say Vrabel's a great players coach. I mean, he is like in your face, ready to go. Like he will get you hyped up. I mean, like I met him after a game, took a picture with him. Super nice guy. My wife loves him, thinks he's the hottest coach of all time. But I think firing Vrabel at the time was a bad decision because we were kind of in purgatory because we didn't know what Henry was doing. We didn't really know where the team was going. We had no sense of direction. Henry was let go. Vrabel was fired all within like 3 weeks, I'd say. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they go out and they get Brian Callahan. They bring in Bill Callahan, the offensive line coach. They bring in a new D coordinator, new OC. And then they've actually opened up their bank account and they brought players in. And I mean, I don't know if that had to do with like it was Vrabel's way and he was controlling everything, but now they're actually letting the GM work magic. Rand Carthon is bringing dudes in now. So, yes, I think it was a smart idea. I mean, it sucks that he is now a strength coach or on the Browns or something like that now, that he didn't get a job, but I think he'll be back coaching somewhere. I mean, I feel like he's more of a defensive mind than an offensive guy for sure.
Yeah, I think especially when you have like a new quarterback like going into their second year and you want to see like the leap that they can take. It's kind of I feel like you can't really do that with a defensive minded coach. I mean, I mean Zach Wilson kind of just sucks, but like our coaching staff,
not kinda.
Yeah.
more than kind of, but like the point is he just sucks. Like I'm not saying like that if things were different, like if we had a different coach that he'd be better. Because like now he sucks in Denver with Sean Payton, who I think is also like very overrated, and the game is I think the game's kind of passed Sean Payton by a little, but like I don't think necessarily if we had an offensive minded coach that Zach Wilson would have been better, but like it's kind of almost impossible for like a young quarterback to succeed with a defensive minded coach, especially because like a lot of these defensive coaches like Saleh, Rex Ryan, Todd Bowles, Mike Vrabel, whoever it is, like they barely barely communicate with their quarterbacks. Like
there's only one so far, and it's CJ Stroud.
True. That's like the outlier at this point with D'Amico Ryans. But I feel like D'Amico Ryans, like I feel like he understands, and I don't know what it is, like I don't know what it is in like his coaching DNA, like. Especially like when you compare like him and Saleh, because they both came from San Francisco and like under the same tree, and like why like I don't know, like it's like D'Amico Ryan seems to take on like that CEO role of a team that like you need a head coach to take on, and Saleh just doesn't seem to do that.
I think with him, I think he just approached it the right way, not like Saleh.
And when you draft like a stud like CJ Stroud, second overall.
Right. Well, I mean, the Carolina wanted CJ Stroud, but the owner was like, no, we want Bryce Young.
Yeah.
So it's like he just fell into your lap.
The Panthers.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the Panthers' shitty owner, I mean, the Titans could be like running the AFC South this year with like if you had like 2 free wins against Bryce Young every year. But
there's no free wins when it comes to Titans football, though.
no,
I've learned
neither.
that.
Yeah, no, neither do we. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no such thing. We have
doesn't
to fly when everybody else can walk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope it's a great game on Sunday. I mean, football's back, like the excitement's here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
I just want to see a good, competent product on the field. That's all I want to see for
that's all we're asking for.
I'm not saying, the Super Bowl's in the sights, this year or even next year, but like for the future, like if we can build off of a young team and build a core and actually keep coaches and coordinators, and it's not just a revolving door, that's it's just
stability.
It's hard. It's hard to coach these professionals when you're coming in with a new scheme and then you're out in 2 years. Like what? Like who's going to learn from that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's no consistency.
Yeah, and then when the new regime comes in, they basically clean house of all the players anyway. Because we didn't draft these guys, we didn't sign these guys, so it's like a constant. Like that's how like the Browns ended up in like a perpetual rebuild, and to an extent, like the Jets found themselves in that situation for a pretty long time too. And we're kind of like, I guess, I mean, you could argue that the Jets maybe should have cleaned house after last year, at least from like from the coaching staff and GM standpoint. Like the argument's definitely there. Question for you, Mo. So let's say the Jets do lose this game to the Tennessee. Are you hitting the panic button, and do you think that like at that point, like how much like leeway do you think Saleh has before he gets fired?
How bad do we lose?
I don't know. Let's say we lose.
Is it like a game winning field goal? Then I'm not hitting the panic button.
All right, let's say we're not going to lose. Say we don't lose like 45-3, but it's not like a last second field goal either. Maybe we lose like, I don't know, 27
by like a touchdown.
Yeah, by like a touchdown, 10 points.
I mean, yeah, that's tough, but I mean, it's not too bad yet. I'd give it a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I feel like the real benchmark, if like the Jets start out the season slow, and because the Jets never fire coaches like in season, like I don't think
they've never
done that ever. But like if there was ever a season where like it could potentially happen, I mean, obviously we're getting
all right. If we lose to the Patriots and Broncos, then yes.
Yeah, like. But even then, like they might not bring in a new coach like for the London game. Like
no,
I would say
they'll just ride it out.
I would say like after that London game would be like kind of the benchmark. Like if you're like 1-4, or like if you're like 1-4, like 0-5, which I don't really think will happen. But if you're like 1-4 after the first 5 games after that London game, I could see them. I could see them. Leaving Saleh in London and
yeah. I mean, you don't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, like at that point, yeah, because if you are gonna try and like save this season, I mean, and like maybe that is like the avenue where, and this is just like thinking way ahead, but because like I always thought like Saleh and Joe Douglas would be like attached at the hip. As far as like I pretty much like my thought has pretty much been like they're either both going to get extended or they're both going to get fired after this season. But like I could potentially see like if Saleh were to get fired in season if we start off like really bad, then like maybe that buys Joe Douglas like another year or two.
All right,
with a new coach. But like Joe Douglas hired Saleh, and like I feel like not a lot of people talk like if you want to talk about like a blemish on his resume. If you don't like the head coach, like that was a Joe Douglas hire. Like he went and conducted the search and did all the work to make that happen.
Do you think we end up signing Hassan Reddick?
At this point, not really.
Or do you think he'll hold out? the whole season?
I think he will at minimum. I mean, because like it doesn't seem like either side is really interested in like getting.
I think he might retire.
Yeah, it does seem like it does seem kind of like he's willing to let his career die over this, and it seems kind of like the Jets are willing to let like their season potentially die or not be as good as it should be over this, and that's really frustrating. But I do think at this point he'll either, he could maybe retire if he really wants to die on that hill, but I think like I feel like the most likely scenario is that he'll come in after week, after 10 weeks where you have to come in or else you don't accrue a year. So I think he would come in like week 10 or 11 and just
like November
to a year and then peace out. And, we'll see how he even plays. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, his agent's always posting in videos of him training, but it's like at this point, it's like, all right, like what are you training for? Like, are you coming back or not? Because it's it's just getting to be pretty absurd.
It's getting old.
Like at this, like
it's already been old.
Just remember, Ben Simmons makes training videos too, and you see how that played out. So
yeah, maybe he also like went to Japan and like did like some cosplay out there. So we might just be but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's like a bad look for everyone. I mean, like last year when the Chiefs lost opening night to the Lions and like they couldn't touch Jared Goff, like Chris Jones was like sitting in a press box and then they were like, okay, like we'll cave. We'll give you what you want and we'll get this done. And I feel like that's what like a real like winning organization would actually do in that situation. But I don't know. It just seems like there's too many like egos at play, and no one really like wants to like blink or swallow their pride or admit like, okay, like maybe we're wrong and we have to like maybe we need you from either perspective. Like Reddick needs to play for his career, and the Jets need Reddick to go as far as they can in a year that's supposed to be like an all-in type of year because you only have Rodgers for this year and maybe next year.
So when they traded for Reddick, the Jets knew that he wanted a new deal, correct?
They did, yeah. So basically what happened was so he wanted out of Philly because Philly wasn't going to pay him because they just paid Bryce Huff, who we should have paid. But
clown show.
Philly wasn't going to pay him, so he wanted out of Philly. So they're like, okay, we'll trade you to the Jets. So the Jets made this trade knowing the reason he wanted out of Philly. It's not like Philly is like the Eagles are like some dumpster fire organization that he's just trying to get out of because he like can't win or succeed there. Like no, he went to a Super Bowl with them. He had like multiple double-digit sack seasons with them. He just didn't want to be there because they weren't going to pay him. And then apparently when they traded for him, the way like the way it's reported is that like they like at first they had like I guess kind of like a handshake agreement or an understanding where it was like, all right, like we're not going to pay you right away, but like if you come and you play and you ball out, we're definitely open to extending you like next season, or you could hit free agency and you could get your money elsewhere, and kind of use this season as like an audition for that. And I guess at first he was on board with it. And then on draft day, like the day 3 of the draft, the Jets traded away John Franklin Myers, one of their like interior defensive linemen, for like a 6th round pick, like in like 2 years. And then at that point, they say that the leverage kind of shifted. So then first, like he sat out mini camp, which like really isn't a big deal. And then he didn't show up to training camp, which wasn't super surprising. And then like 2 or 3 weeks into training camp, he requested a trade. And then the Jets put out like they tweeted out like a statement, like signed off by Joe Douglas, like, oh, we will not trade him and we expect him to be here and he'll continue to get signed, which I don't know what the point of posting that was, but yeah, that's pretty much the whole story, and that's where we're at now. It's just like a standoff between the Jets and Reddick, and it doesn't seem like there's really going to be.
There's not much movement. Yeah,
Yeah,
players get too much control in every sport. You know what I mean? Like they can kind of dictate whatever they want nowadays, rather than just playing out their contract. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the money is just so crazy what these dudes are getting. Like, I feel old when I say this shit, but damn, like. You know,
like I totally understand Reddick like wanting to get his money. Like I don't necessarily begrudge him for that. Like I do begrudge the Jets for like not like shelling out the money when you're supposed to be
it's an
competing
all-in
now,
season. They
now.
gotta do what they gotta do. Like if
Yeah.
this is it, you know what I mean? If they have a 2-year window with Rodgers and this team, like you gotta sign him regardless of what the contract is. I mean, he was a force in Philly, so
yeah, he's like one of the elite pass rushers in the league. So
I wish the Titans would have traded away whatever pick they traded for him. I mean,
we gave up a 2026 third. I don't know if it was just like, I don't know if they were just like, all right, like we'll give up this pick, and we'll give up this pick in 2 years, and if he shows up, great. If not, fuck it. Or they really thought that he showed up, and they got their feelings hurt, and now they don't want to talk to him. I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on, but there's like, I don't know. There's like different reports like every day, like that. Someone saw him somewhere in New Jersey, and he's about to show up, and stuff. And every time, there's been so many different reports throughout the summer, like, like this could be moving in a positive direction, and then just nothing. So who knows at this point? But yeah, I would say the most likely scenario is that he shows up like at the last possible minute he can to accrue his season, play his 7 or 8 games or whatever, and then peace out.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's a shame, but it is what it is. I mean, basically the Jets lost like between letting Bryce Huff walk and other like, other personnel moves they made over the offseason, they basically lost like 20 sacks like from their D line and from like their front seven. And they haven't really done much to replace it. Like they're basically counting on Will McDonald to like take a leap, who they drafted in the first round last year, to like take a leap this year. And
who I think sucks, by the way.
It's not a good start for him. He was very much invisible on Monday. Like didn't even like, I don't know if he played or not, but there's no stat sheet or like evidence.
That's not a good sign.
Recorded their evidence that he played. You didn't hear his name or anything, so he basically didn't play. Which at this point, like, why is he not playing? Like, like they were playing like Michael Clemens over him, and he's pretty bad too, even though he got 1 sack. But yeah, that's kind of the situation that we find ourselves in. So yeah, the run D definitely needs to be better against Tennessee. But let's go ahead and we can do some picks for week 2 and end the show. So basically what we do is we kind of go through, like, we don't do all the games, but we do like the most relevant games, I guess, and then we'll close out with like our picks and like final score for the Jets-Titans game.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Yeah, so we'll start with the Thursday night game. We got the Bills at Miami. I've been going back and forth on this one, but I like the Bills.
Really, I like Miami in this game.
Yeah, I know that it's early in the season, and usually
then that's when they usually do good.
Yeah, usually Miami wins that game against the Bills at home, but I don't know, for some reason this year I'm feeling the Bills tomorrow.
I'm gonna go with Miami.
All right.
I'm going Dolphins by at least 14.
Damn.
Okay. Damn.
Yep.
So
I was gonna say like a TD or something.
14. I'm feeling
alt spread of minus 13.5. Book it. I'm just
Damn, that would be
documenting
wild.
our
That
spreadsheet.
would be wild if that happens.
Let's see. Next game we got. Let's see. That one's stupid. We'll do Tampa Bay versus the Detroit Lions. Definitely like the over in this game, and I'm taking the Lions. No revenge for the Bucks for that playoff loss.
Yeah, you got to go Lions at home, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm going Lions.
That's straight.
All right, everyone's picking the Lions, so that means the Bucks will win. Then we have this one's kind of interesting. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the Green Bay Packers. 2 0-1 teams. Jordan Love is out. I think, and your boy
Malik Willis is in.
Yes, Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing that meme on Twitter where it's like, oh shit, I accidentally became.
They just traded for him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, he accidentally became important at his job, and it's ruining his life.
Yeah.
But I will take AR and the Colts on the road.
Yeah.
The
Colts didn't look too bad, actually. I thought Anthony Richardson looked decent.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna win.
Yeah, I thought so too. He is a decent arm, but I feel like he's good with like deep balls, and then like when it comes to just like the short pass game, it's like he just fucks up.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Kind of reminds me.
It doesn't make sense.
Kind of reminds
me of Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's way more athletic than Zach, though.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got in this one, Derek?
I like the Colts.
I'm going Colts by 17.
Colts by 17.
Yep.
Even with the score.
And then we got the.
Trust me, I've watched Malik Willis play.
He sucks.
Yeah, he is not good. Probably a great human being, but yeah, as a football player, sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be at least 2 or 3 interceptions on that one.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all.
I trusted from the first person perspective.
We got.
I would like seeing that guy come out on the field. I was on a cruise ship enjoying my honeymoon and watched the Titans and Chiefs. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And Malik Willis got to start on Sunday Night Football. And we almost won that game, but it wasn't because of Malik.
It's because of basically anyone but Malik. Yeah. We'll do the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Browns and Deshaun Watson look like utter dog shit against a very good Cowboys defense in week 1. The Jaguars actually looked kind of good against the Dolphins for the first half of the game, and then they just kind of pissed the game away and let the Dolphins come back. So you got 2 0-1 teams going at it in Jacksonville.
Deshaun Watson's cooked.
Yeah.
He can't throw a football.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jags too.
Well, it's actually, well, I won't say it's sad, but it's almost like karma's just coming back at him. Yeah, I'm taking.
Yeah, and he got another. And he got like another allegation this week.
Saw that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Jags.
Yeah. So really, this week, this matchup between our teams is really like kind of a must-win for both of us because, like, we kind of both have like the other AFC South teams winning. So the Colts the Titans kind of need this one just as much as we do, so they don't fall behind. But we'll get to the rest of it. Let's do. No, that one's kind of stupid. Let's do. We'll do Giants versus Commanders just because we're New York centric here. I'm taking the commies.
So am I.
Yep.
Actually, no. I'm taking the Giants. The Giants always beat the commies.
Yeah, I'm going commies on that one.
I'm going commies all the way.
That's fair.
Daniel
Mike
Jones is not the answer.
I'm a fan of Jaden Daniels.
No, he is not.
Runs it up their ass.
Yeah, definitely going Commanders on that one. Yo, how ugly were those jerseys though?
Oh my God!
Yeah, those Montreal Canadiens.
Dude, I was like, what kind of sick bullshit is going on here?
Yeah,
and they introduced it. I didn't think they were gonna use them week 1. Oh my God!
It was like, I guess it was to celebrate their 100-year anniversary or something.
Yeah,
it's pretty disgraceful. Pretty disgraceful when you think about it. And I mean, sometimes because they drop those uniforms over the summer, and then sometimes a uniform when they drop it on social media, it looks bad, but then when you actually see it on the field, it's a little better. But no, it was just
that's what looked worse.
Not a football jersey whatsoever.
It looked like the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and they didn't even play. They didn't even play as good as the present day Montreal Canadiens played, which is pretty fucking bad. We'll go to some
look good, play good. Well, they did not look good, and they did not play good.
That is correct. We got some 4:00 games. We'll do the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. That should be a riveting matchup. I will take the Steelers on the road, though. Justin Fields getting another start and another win.
Fucking TJ Watt's a monster. He won them that game.
Yeah, they're gonna. They might actually shut out Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Steelers. I wanted to take the Broncos being in Denver, but that franchise really doesn't have much hope right now. So
no,
pains me to say, but yeah, Steelers. Probably in an ugly one too.
I think Bo Nix could be decent, but I mean they're just it's like a new team. So
yeah,
I think give him time. I think he'd be all right.
The Steelers always also do this thing where they play down to shitty teams. So this could be
that's true.
This could be a potential kind of a trap game for them, but I don't know. I just don't physically see it happening.
What's the spread on that one?
The spread for that game, we have the Steelers are 2.5-point favorites on the road. So I mean, I think the Steelers.
I'm still thinking the Steelers
squeak out I think they should squeak out a win by a field goal at the very least. It'll probably be closer than people here would want it to be. But I think they'll win. And then we got the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs because Joe Burrow did not look very good against the Patriots, and I don't know. I feel like the Bengals always kind of start the season off pretty slow, and I just don't think they're going to be as good as they've been in previous years.
Is that in Kansas City or Cincinnati?
Yep, it's in Kansas City, and the Chiefs are favored by 5.5.
Oh yeah, I'm taking KC.
I'm going with Smoking Joe.
Ooh.
I was
thinking about it because when you asked that question, if it was in Cincinnati, I probably would have taken Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow head, baby.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep.
He looked like he had a lot of trouble like lifting that water bottle. I would be pretty concerned about his health if I was a Bengals fan.
But Xavier Worthy's going to go off again for my fantasy team. So that man is fast. That man
he's fast
shot
as
out
fuck.
of a cannon on that end around.
Yeah. Also, the Bills are a bunch of dumbasses for basically giving giving him to the Chiefs. I mean, I'm glad they did it. I'm glad that I'm glad we don't have to. I'm glad we don't have to see Xavier Worthy twice a year. I think Keon Coleman will be good too, but yeah, I don't know. Xavier Worthy kind of, he kind of reminded me of like, it's like they found their new Tyreek Hill, who probably isn't as big of an asshole. We'll go on to the primetime games. So on Sunday night, we got the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. And I'm gonna take the Texans. It was a nice win by the Bears last week, but I think the Texans are kind of just a little bit ahead of them.
Yeah, I don't want to take another AFC South team, but the wound's still open with the Bears. So, I mean, realistically, I'm going Texans. I'm going Texans.
Fair enough.
Caleb Williams on prime time. It's time to shine, but that defense with the Texans is way too good. I mean, they're better than the Titans, so they're gonna shut down Caleb Williams on national TV.
Yeah,
and this is like Chicago, right?
It is. It's in Houston.
It's in. Oh yeah. All right.
Yep, and it's Texans are 6.5 point favorites.
Line it up.
Yep.
Line it up for Houston, and then we have the Monday night game. We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. In Philadelphia, I want to take the Falcons, but I got to take the Eagles.
Falcons look like shit.
They did. Kirk Cousins looked. It looked like he couldn't really plant his foot with the Achilles. It looked like he couldn't really like step into any throws.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going Eagles.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a closer game. I feel
I don't have a choice. My girl's an Eagles fan, so I gotta go Eagles.
Derek's girl is a Bears fan, and
really,
the Houston and the Texans play in his division, but he still took the Texans.
Yeah. Like I said, the wound's still open. Yeah.
But that'll take us to the reason we're all here today, the New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. I will be in attendance. The Jets 3.5 point favorites on the road, and I will take the Jets, and I will take them to win. I'm going to say 23-20. Jets win.
And they don't even cover.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a nail biter. Ooh. Did you want to go first?
I'm going Titans. I'm going Titans, and I'm going. I feel like it's a bounce back game for Will Levis. I think he's gonna come back out. He's gonna be slinging. We're gonna get the wide receivers involved. We're not gonna wait till the second half for Hopkins. We're gonna feed Ridley the ball. Granted, the Jets secondary is good, just along with the Bears. So it's gonna be another battle. But I'm going Titans 24, Jets 14.
Damn.
Lots of points this weekend coming from me. I'm gonna have to bet some overs. I wouldn't even hit the over because it was 40.
Yeah, no, that's under. Yeah, it'll be there are some interesting matchups in this game, like Garrett Wilson going up against Ladarius Sneed. Be interesting to see how that goes. I feel like Sauce. So like the whole offseason, the Jets coaching staff was talking about how they were going to have Sauce travel with like the other team's number one, and he did not do that this week. But I think Sauce should probably be. I think they should probably put Sauce on Ridley. They could let DJ Reed's old ass cover DeAndre Hopkins since he's like a little. We have Michael Carter to cover up Tyler Boyd in the slot.
Yeah, I mean that's what you'd want.
But we'll see. We'll see if our coaches are smart enough to do that.
Oh, God. All right, I gotta take the team. I gotta take the Jets. 31-30.
31-30, a shootout.
Yeah.
Really. I'm writing all this in a spreadsheet just because we got this shit. So 31-30. Yeah, last week. Let's see who won the picks last week. It's kind of hard to see offhand, but I'll get back to you guys on that. But it definitely wasn't me.
Yeah.
It might have been me. I'll get back to you on the official. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for us here this evening. Want to thank Derek for coming on and providing some insight on the enemy this week. It's not all the time that we have like a friend of the program that's a fan of the team that we're facing that can give us the hard-hitting analysis that Derek did. So I do appreciate you taking some time to talk some ball with us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if you guys
thanks for coming on, Derek.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. This was a good time. It's always fun talking ball, and I got one name that you guys are gonna hear this weekend: Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. All right. Paradise by the dashboard.
Meatloaf. I like Brees Hall, but running up that middle with Jeffrey Simmons and Big Meatloaf. Good luck.
Wait, who is Meatloaf?
Tavondre Sweat.
Tavondre Sweat.
I did not know that was his nickname.
Big
so you got Meatloaf. The Broncos used to have that guy Pot Roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jets could definitely use a Meatloaf or Pot Roast type of guy.
We have one, but we need two.
Yeah, we need another one. We need someone to compliment Quinnen up there. But yeah, so a lot of outside runs for Brees then, I guess. But yeah, any final words either of you have for the people?
Go Titans.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. And we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.